TB Joshua asked me to find virgins for him.
Most times he pours this honey. I will pour it inside his pant.
The first time I met him, he looked loving, not knowing that behind that, TB Joshua asked me to find virgins for him, to bring young girls into disciple fold. In the midnight, this person will be called into his bedroom so that he could disvirgin them. When those girls come out, he usually take all the bed sheets and everything, he pack them and take them to the prayer mountain.
His underwears, you know he wears white. Most times he pours this honey. I will pour it inside his pant, inside his underwear. He will pour it there. When he pours those honey there, he wears the underwear.
And I was like, what's the significance of this? Why is he doing this?
There's a witch doctor here. And
To be brainwashed, it doesn't feel like brainwashing. It's like your brain has been completely rewired. It's like you've took a drug almost. Lack of sleep, cut off from your family, living communally, one high controlling leader who controls everything.
Oh, they are well treated here, like kings and princes.
You were living on site in the church. When you live at the compound, you don't leave the compound. There's armed men at the gate with guns. There's a wall, there's barbed fencing. The windows are blacked out. The stairs were concrete, the walls were concrete. It felt like a labyrinth. You're told never to leave. You could get killed, you could get attacked.
You couldn't contact anyone outside. I didn't have my own cell phone. We didn't have really access to our own personal email. We didn't have our passports. They held them for us.
When I first arrived, it was only a couple of days that I started hearing disciples calling him Daddy. He'd always sit on a swivel chair, and sometimes he'd push off the wall and go, wee! And everyone would go, oh, he's so silly. We'd revel in that, oh, silly Daddy.
It's like you're in this kind of perpetual childhood state because he also treats you like a child and he calls you a child.
There was this kind of like regression that took place. You used to like giggle like a kid and stuff. It was so strange. Being a disciple, you lived under a really strict set of rules. We weren't allowed to read anything. We weren't allowed to watch movies.
You know, he would say what you should wear, what you shouldn't.
I can't describe how tired you were, constantly. Exhausted, absolutely exhausted, because you've had 2 hours sleep and you never have more than 4 hours sleep, ever.
Sleep was seen as like basically the greatest enemy to the work of God. He used to tell us things like, you have to pray against it, you have to battle it.
We weren't allowed to wear watches, so our time was controlled.
The time goes by so quickly because every day is so similar to the last. You wake up and it's like, oh, it's 2 years later, oh, it's 3 years later. I was 16 or maybe even 15 when I first visited, and then I stayed for 14 years.
God I was introduced to is evil. This is the same God that would sleep with us. This is the same God that would beat us up. You have no idea of what I went through. Everybody wanted the privilege to meet this big giant called TB Joshua.
Nothing is as strong as love. I love you.
The first time I met him, he looked loving, not knowing that behind that was a sadist, a psychopath.
There was a system in there that he used to abuse these women. He's the one that crafted the building of his apartment. The whole building was just designed to keep secret. I call a lady, Prophet wants to see you. He will tell you the specific staircase that this person should come.
I felt like there was a beast, like this beast. I was screaming and he was whispering in my ear that you should stop acting like a baby.
He kept forcing himself on me. He assured me the more I made him happy, God will be happy with me.
You know it. You skip your first period, you skip your second period, and you have to talk.
If any of us got pregnant, we have to do something about it.
I witnessed a lot of abortions. They started doing it inside the synagogue.
You'd be taken to this clinic of his.
It could have killed us. I never had a choice whether I could keep a potential child or not.
I had 3 abortions at the synagogue.
I wanted to be connected to God. That's why I stayed there. That's why I keep trying my very best.